crispy snap. I stack my pinky.
Do you stack your pinky for a snap?
Yeah.
I just use my middle finger. I almost like Quiet Coyote it, but just use the middle finger and the thumb, and then
Nothing on my middle. I can get the ring finger alright, but then
stack your pinky.
when I do the pinky in between the thumb and ring finger,
that is just an odd way of doing it.
because I use like the ring finger to hold the pinky finger down.
No, the middle finger is like the iconic snap. Like when you see Thanos snap people out of existence.
Yeah, I know that's the way to do it, but I was like,
could you imagine Thanos using his pinky finger?
He has the strength to do, but
that's not the point.
Yeah, but that's the way I had to learn how to do it as a kid.
Thanos snapping with his pinky finger.
I can just.
What does he say? What is he? And I'm Thanos. Snap.
He says, "I am Iron Man." That's what Thanos says.
Oh yeah, Thanos. I am. Wait, no. I am inevitable. And then he snaps it, and then everyone goes poof poof away.
And then he poofs away with Thor's axe in his chest. Stormbreaker.
Wait, what? Did Thanos die?
In Infinity War, no.
But he dies in general.
Thanos? Yeah, he dies twice in Endgame. Because in the beginning of Endgame, they cut off his head, and then the past Thanos gets snapped away.
I did not remember that.
No?
I still don't. I need to rewatch the movies.
Have you seen Loki season 2 yet?
No. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Nifty Crew podcast. The NiftyCast, I think, is the name we were still going with it. We haven't even released an episode yet.
No, but it's good to get a backlog.
Yeah, we're gonna edit one episode today and just throw it on the channel. And this is gonna be the second episode. So that 2 episodes in. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm excited.
Are you?
I am, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm chubbing up right now just thinking about the podcast.
You getting bricked up?
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to start this, and
second time's a charm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did we even touch base on that in the first one?
I think we did. I think we definitely talked about it.
I mean, a quick recap because it's been a week or 2.
2 weeks.
Has it been 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. Yeah, we did have a Nifty Crew podcast before this that we just never worked on.
In 2019, I think.
Yeah, and then stuff fell through, and now
COVID.
Here we are. Back at it again.
More professional this time.
Yeah,
more planned out. Too.
I mean, like I laugh at professional because we sat here for like 20 minutes trying to get the audio to be kind of decent. So if there's even like background noise, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean that's part of the professionalism.
Yeah,
making it right.
John Williams, dude.
I love John Williams.
I love John Carpenter.
I do too. I don't know that I've seen much of his work, but I appreciate his work.
Yeah, well, Thanos snapped him out of the universe anyways, until Thanos apparently died, but that's besides the point.
Imagine all those people, like, moving on, like Captain America said, too, and then, hey, your significant other's back, but you have a family now.
But I married a new one! And she just, like, gets back, and she's like, wait, we have more than 2 kids? And he's like, well, actually, I have more than 2 kids, This is Veronica.
I mean, they could still make it work, though. I mean, open relationships are a thing.
And polygamy. Yeah.
Polyamory.
Wait.
It might be the same thing, but...
Dude, I am so out of the loop with all that stuff.
I'm in the loop with it.
I try to know, like, what I'm talking about, but I barely know what I'm talking about.
I feel like both of us know a lot about a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
That's why friend groups work. You give each other information that you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Justin also kisses me to sleep, and I don't get mad about that. It's like he's
especially
testing
Minecraft.
the waters. Minecraft's different.
Kissing
in Minecraft, I don't mind and tell, Justin.
Oh, my apologies. I mean, it kind of gives it away to the other people in the Discord when we're playing together.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, they do obviously overhear us kissing one another,
But they don't really judge.
Yeah, so we just go along with it. Sorry, now Mom's home, so I should probably just go tell her not to come upstairs.
And Mo's crying.
Is he crying? That does sound like Mo.
I wonder if the laundry is scaring him.
The laundry?
Yeah, you didn't hear the laundry just going?
No, that was Mom coming home.
I swear to God, I heard like a laundry machine.
I am gonna tell her just because she's known for just coming up here.
She's part of the Nifty crew too.
Yeah,
We value her opinions. We value. Well, maybe I shouldn't say the last name, but Will's mom's opinion. Well, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to cut that out, probably. But hey, this is Jay Fav, soloing the podcast now. How you all doing? We got a list of topics to talk about, and I don't know if we'd like to talk about more than one at a time, because that's what's tricky for me. Because I know podcasts shouldn't, like an episode shouldn't be focused solely on one topic and multiple topics, and I guess that's what confuses me, because whenever I see podcast highlights on, like, I don't know, Facebook Reels or, TikTok or whatever, like, you don't know if it's coming from the same podcast. It's just short little clips, and that's what, like, gets them popular. So I don't know if podcasts in general, I guess they do kind of have to do, like, multiple topics. You can't really talk about one topic just for an entire podcast, but well, we'll ask Will what he thinks of that.
Hey guys.
So I was just telling the podcast how whenever I see Reels or TikToks on podcasts, you never really know if it's coming from the same podcast because it's just highlighting one topic. And I guess my thing is, like, obviously the podcast, one episode has to revolve around a couple of different topics.
What?
Yeah.
What is he talking about? What?
Like,
I'm a little confused on what you mean. Also, I'm gonna probably splice some of the stuff out. Anyways.
That's what I figured. Like,
well, you do realize this is all about me, right?
Obviously, it's your idea.
Okay. No, I meant like everything. Like everything you do revolves around me.
I'm fully aware of that. I am your bitch.
Thank you. So what were you saying?
Like, obviously a single podcast episode has to revolve around multiple topics because you can't really just talk about one topic the entire podcast. I mean, maybe you could.
Yeah.
But obviously it revolves around multiple topics. And I guess my question is like, do we like want the topics to be similar to one another, or like are you comfortable jumping around between different genres, I guess?
In the same
episode?
Yeah,
dude. Because when you see highlights,
we are tangents.
Yeah, we are.
Like, yeah, we are walking tangents. Like,
I'm a run-on sentence.
We just bounce around and start talking about nonsense, and it just keeps going until, like, I forget about what we even started with.
Same. I guess another question I should ask you is, do you think we should have a Nifty crew or NiftyCast, like, TikTok page or something like that? Because I feel like whenever I'm scrolling through Reels or TikTok or whatever it may be, that's what grabs my attention. Is people will take one topic they're talking about in the podcast and throw it up on the Reels because they think it's interesting.
Of course.
I think that's a good branding idea.
Good about that, you know.
But like, I guess what I was talking about is, like, when you see those clips, they could come from the same podcast or they could be coming from multiple different podcasts. I don't know. I guess my brain's trying to wrap around that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, the shorts are spliced together.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's just a branding thing that, we decide going forward. We'll hire an editor. We'll hire Brian.
Yeah, also, I think that's not a bad idea.
You've seen his editing skills.
But, like, yeah. I mean, like, a social media manager like that would, like, kind of know what the algorithm would pick up.
Yeah. I'd like to say I'm fairly decent with social media. I love social media. I mean,
I'm addicted.
I was going to say that. I think I am actually addicted to social media.
It's gotten worse over time for me. I don't know if I put like my screen time usage up on my like one of my phone home screens, and I've been seeing like 12 hours of activity a day.
No, that's fair. I'm curious what it accounts for though, because I use podcasts all the time at work, where my job allows me to throw it on and zone out to it while I'm doing the job, where that's a solid 12 hours myself per day.
Do they allow headphones now? Because I remember it was a touchy topic.
For the position that I do, yes, but there's always that but, you know what I mean? Like,
Always.
yeah, there is a sign in the office that says no headphones allowed.
But everyone.
But everyone does it. And I am a culprit. I won't lie, because I'm not going to just fucking be miserable my whole shift.
It is. I've done it.
And it's like, our job is very people oriented. So like, if you can't hear the customer,
Yeah.
and that's on you. That is so on you.
Yep.
So I think that's why that headphone usage even came into play, but
Plus, if there's like an emergency and you're listening to something too loud.
yeah, exactly. And there are a few people that I have already seen that someone tries to get their attention and they don't know because they have them in.
That's the thing too. Like at this job, sometimes if something's happening, you might be the closest person that needs to jump in.
You know, I'm just going to say what I do. I'm not going to say where I do it, but I
We've talked about it anyway.
I think so. I work in a hospital. I work as a people mover. And, yeah, if I don't hear the patients talking to me, there's an issue.
Yes.
Like, I understand that.
100%.
But some people don't understand that. I'm not going to call out names, but I think we have a general idea of one person in particular that doesn't understand people's skills in general. But
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. Whatever. It's whatever. I throw my headphone in, I listen to it, and my screen time, even though it's not on, I'm wondering if it's tracking that or it is.
Yes. So at least the way I have it set up is that there's like kind of like a bar graph where the different columns are for different.
I'm
like
gonna pull
productivity.
mine up right now. You keep talking. I'm gonna pull
Like
it up.
if I check mine right now, I can just describe it to you. So it has different activities. So like social media is one, productivity and finance is another one, entertainment's another one. Mm-hmm. So it groups those apps together. But so like entertainment would be like YouTube and like Netflix. Obviously, social is social media.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, productivity and finance would be like notes, banking apps and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
For like me, for my social media, as of today, I have an hour and 8 minutes on social, and actually, it looks like it throws entertainment into that category as well, but on the bar graph it separates it. I don't know. It's a little confusing, but
yeah, I'm seeing that right now. What's your screen time then?
For today, so far it's 2 hours and 26 minutes. But
Oh, see, you're doing better than I am.
my daily average for this week is 10 hours and 52 minutes.
Never mind. For today, I'm doing 3 hours and 7 minutes. And then my daily average is 3 hours and 40 minutes. With social media, it's saying as like a weekly thing being 7 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, so my my weekly average for social media is 24 hours and 49 minutes.
Dude, you develop a whole day worth of social media.
Yep, my entertainment is at 10 hours and 52 minutes, and my productivity and finance is at 5 hours and 45 minutes.
I will say the entertainment one, I understand. A lot of people, I myself, use YouTube on the phone or Netflix or whatever on the phone, so it's like I get that.
Like for me, I usually fall asleep with YouTube on my phone or like I listen to music on my phone.
Do you have a TV in your room?
I do, which I haven't. I sometimes will cast it to my TV, but sometimes the light's too bright, or I'm just too lazy, so I'll just put it on my phone.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of my TV in the room. I've spent a lot of money on my TV with like the surround sound and the light show and everything.
You are a very entertainment, classically, like classic living room setup.
Yeah, no, literally the setup of like a basement, like a dad's basement, is my room, except
Literally.
it's a mess.
And I, growing up, like being in my like 13, like young teenage years, I used to love watching gaming setup videos.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was my shit, because like it just gave me inspiration. So I have like a classic game room gaming setup with the L-shaped desk. I'm a slut for L-shaped desks.
I was designing a desk. You can see it's on the table there.
Oh, that's what that is?
That is what that is. I was designing a desk for my dad to make. I still live at home, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. That's why I had to stop the podcast, because mom was coming home and I was like, "Do not come in." Yeah. I live at home. But anyways,
It's hard out there, dude.
It's real hard.
Nowadays, I don't think anyone's gonna give a shit for living at home.
No, literally. But I was like, "Oh, Dad, will you design me a desk?" Because he does all the building stuff and all that. And he's like, no, what originally started was I was going to buy one off Amazon.
Yeah.
Only $100. And then my dad somehow caught wind of it. I think I even was just talking to him about it. Oh, Mo's going nanners. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get this desk." And he's like, "I'll build you one. Just tell me what you want and whatever." I was going to buy an L-shaped one, and looking at it here, there's no room for an L-shape unless I had part of it on the wall behind me.
Could, but you could have it where your desk is now, and then the L part.
But then it would take away part of the room. Like, to describe the room we're in now, it is pretty decently sized, but with the there's a table and chairs and everything. Like, it takes away a good portion of the room.
It does, and I see what you mean, but also. I'm putting ideas in your head. That this is me. Like, I have no spatial awareness. Like, if there's an empty space, it's getting taken.
Oh, 100%.
But you could honestly, too, because I do understand why you need room to get in there, but if you flipped it and, like, put the back against that wall and then have the L coming on with that chair is, that's an idea, too, but that's my dumb brain.
That is a good idea as well.
But I do see where you're coming from with spatial awareness. But I do remember, because Will's dad does build a lot of things.
Yeah.
When our friendship first started, I remember your dad was, I think, building you, like, a movie shelf in your room.
Yeah, I still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. And it's actually not my movie shelf anymore. It's strictly just for TV shows. It's my TV shelf now.
The TV section.
Yeah, the TV section. I am a whore for DVDs.
Me and Will are, and that is a topic we do want to talk about.
We can talk about it right now, brother. I
think we should
collect the things like it's like baseball cards. Like, people used to collect baseball cards. I'm collecting movies,
and I collect games too. And I'm sure some of you have probably heard, and the media market was definitely headed this way for a long time now, but they're going to stop producing, physical copies of video games.
So bullshit.
We knew that was coming.
So bullshit.
I think Will didn't know this, and I caught him, unfortunately, by surprise with this. Best Buy, a couple months ago, came out saying that they are no longer going to be making Blu-rays and 4K. I don't know if they said 4Ks. I know they said Blu-rays, though.
They said Blu-rays and DVDs.
So that probably does include 4Ks, too. It just sucks.
Makes me so mad.
Obviously, I think Will and I just like collecting them because they're there and we like looking at them. But I think you can probably agree to this too. Like, it's happened before where we don't trust digital copies because you don't own them really. It's just a license. They can take that away from you at any point.
100%. So one reason digital copy, or an example, I shouldn't say reason, Over the Garden Wall. I have it on Blu-ray and I got it on Apple, like the Apple TV, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, there's a certain song that plays in like the second final episode, like the penultimate episode. Old Black Train. It's a super cool song. It like fits well with this show. Favorite part of the show because of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And we're watching it on Apple, and guess what's not in the Apple version?
The song.
The song.
Did they use a different song or just no song?
No song. It was silent. Apple lost the rights
The
to
licensing,
use it.
yeah.
So they used the rest of it, and they don't put that song in the Apple one. Now, if you watch it on my Blu-ray, it's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And not only that now, you cannot buy, they might have changed it, but we were looking a little bit ago, you can't buy the show on Apple.
So it's unlisted now, yeah.
So it's unlisted. Like, it's so bullshit. So what happened to the show when they took it off HBO? They took it off Hulu for a bit. It did eventually go back, but there was a point in time you couldn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you like pirate it online, which I will say I will do if it's last case.
I do too.
I like to buy and own and say like, no, I'm giving this show a little bit of funding. Like, I enjoy it, so I might as well support it.
Exactly.
You know?
And two other things that are on my mind right now is something I'm glad about, and I know you did this, and I was considering it. Oh, you bought The Mandalorian on Blu-ray off Walmart, no less. But it was like a pirated version, like they obviously somehow recorded it and put it onto a disc.
Yeah.
But recently, probably like 4 months ago or something, Disney came out saying, "Oh, we are actually going to release Mandalorian, WandaVision, I think Loki as well, and a couple others on Blu-ray."
Loki is already out. WandaVision is coming out soon.
And Mandalorian, they're doing the first and second season.
Yeah, they're doing both those seasons, which at the point, why don't you just do the newest one?
Yep.
Fucking pain in the ass. Why don't you do Obi-Wan? Why don't you do...
Which I'm holding out hope they will.
I'm hoping they do all of them. Like, I love all of those shows.
I'm glad they did Prey. Like, Prey was a Hulu exclusive movie. They released that, too.
They'll do that with certain ones. Like, The Boys on Amazon.
Yep.
They weren't going to release it for a bit. And then the first and second season came out on Blu-ray, and I was like, oh, sweet.
Finally.
The third season dropped this year on Blu-ray. So I have all 3 seasons.
They need to do it with
legally.
BoJack now. Finish off BoJack.
Yeah, dude. They did the first 2 seasons for BoJack. They haven't released anything else.
And so on the gaming side, which really frustrates me, because there was an Xbox leak about the new Xbox and how it's like a cylinder, and it doesn't have a disk drive.
Oh yeah, the cylinder really threw me off.
Not
honestly.
a box anymore, so okay.
The X cylinder.
But
circle box.
People said they might do a external disk drive you might be able to buy, like what the PlayStation just did. But what frustrates me is Xbox doing that is they are like the ones that were in the lead for like we need to preserve old games and like backwards compatibility, and obviously if you have discs then you can play them. But now that there's no disc drive, how are you going to play those games? And not only that, the like Xbox Series X games you have on disc.
Oh no, there's a way. You have to buy them all over again. Isn't that fucking bullshit?
That, or hopefully they do have an external drive. But like, if you're all about preserving the past like that, then why would that's so douchey?
Yeah, like corporate companies nowadays are just like so against the consumers now. It's all about greed.
I mean, I don't know how long term it would be, because I mean we've seen things like vinyl and VHS and stuff. Like, so will it come back in the future? I think there's a solid chance.
Oh yeah, no, it's something weird about like nostalgia. Like, you want to go back to that part of you that used to love that.
Like, I still have my VHSs.
I have a ton of them.
I don't have a player anymore. My player broke, but
I don't know where my player is, but I know I have one. Actually, I think there's one right over there.
There is, but
yeah.
I probably should hop on getting one soon because I'm sure you can find one at eBay for like $20.
You could probably find one anywhere for pretty cheap.
Probably like even a thrift store.
Yeah, but like going back to it, it's like vinyls are huge.
I love
Like,
vinyls.
and I wasn't even really around when they were. Like when they were first a thing and they came out, they beat out CDs weren't around yet, I don't think. It was just the vinyls. But when they beat out, was it I want to say Amtrak, but I'm going to sound like an idiot.
Was it Amtrak and then vinyl? I mean, because I know.
Is it A-Trax, Amtrak? Isn't Amtrak like a train or something?
8-track. Oh, was 8-track like the were 8-tracks the mini vinyls? Because whenever I think 8-track, I think of
They're like something you can play in the car, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I know there was like brass thing, like.
Oh, Brass Monkey.
No, but like. I feel like there were brass plates that used to play that had holes in them that used to play music, but then also like they used to use wax, like in like the phonograph.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then
I
would think it went like the phonograph and then the vinyl.
Yeah. Either way, but like when vinyls were big, I wasn't around.
No.
And now I'm like, oh wow, my favorite show's soundtrack on vinyl. Gotta get that. Oh,
Minecraft.
I was just about to say that. Speaking of which, do you remember when I fucking found that for $20?
I was jealous. I had like just gotten one probably for 30 or 60, something like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing them online for upwards to 500.
I think they started reproducing them.
They might have, because
I hope they do a new one.
it was in a random comic book store in Worcester that I went to a lot when I was at the school.
I'm surprised you found it there.
And I was like, yes, please. Yes, please, and
Sorry,
thank
Gavin just said he's in for Margnite, and that's
But he literally was saying, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to say it. I'm so glad. Gav City! He's going to be at Marganite. Oh, wait, want to talk about Marganite?
we can. But before, I just want to say one thing about the Minecraft vinyl. I would really appreciate if they made a new one with some of the new songs, because I'm a Minecraft fiend if we haven't talked about it before, but I really do like the new Minecraft songs. They honestly go perfect with C114s.
C148.
C148 soundtrack. They go hand in hand, in my opinion.
If I got that wrong, I'm going to cry.
If you got what?
The name wrong.
No, I think it is C418.
Is it
C148.
We're looking it up right now. C1... Nope, C418.
It is C418.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm going to cry now.
I believe you. 'Cause I don't know. I just don't trust myself. My judgment.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of trust issues with myself as well recently.
My brain is so foggy.
Just can't handle myself.
No, same. But anyways, let's talk about Margnite.
Yes, Margnite. That's something I can handle. I'm so excited for Margnite. Me and Justin do this fun thing with our friends that we go out every week to a nice little restaurant called
Chili's.
I want the baby back, baby back, baby back. I want the baby back, baby back.
This is classic.
It's a classic restaurant.
I think it all started really after my birthday. I think the day after my birthday is me, you, and Sean and Brian all
Yeah.
boy.
It was just the four of us.
You guys took me out for my birthday, and we decided to go to Chili's, and then we went to Total Wine after, and it just became a weekly thing.
Yep, we just blow money like it's nothing.
Yep.
But we go into Chili's, the bar, we get chips, dip, hang out,
Little food.
some margaritas.
Always margaritas.
Oh, that's why it's Margnite,
Yeah.
of course. And then, yeah, we eat, enjoy each other and the company. And then we go to Total Wine, which is right next door.
And,
Spend more money.
yep.
And then go home. And cry.
Sometimes hop on games. Sometimes just.
I love, honestly, after a good Margnite, I love hopping on the craft,
Yep.
hanging with the boys still, just drinking whatever drink I want to drink.
Usually whatever we get from Total Wine.
Yeah, it's usually whatever we get from Total Wine, and then just relax for the rest of the night.
It's always a good time.
We, I know, like, we always say Chili's, but I was gonna be like, hey guys, do we want to like get a whole thing of tequila and have a Margnite in person and grill up steaks and
I'll
stuff
be down
sometime?
for that.
That'd
I
be
thought
fun.
first of all that you were gonna say another restaurant. I was like, no.
No. If we're gonna do Margnite
It's
and
Chili's.
go to a restaurant, it has to be Chili's.
But I'd be down for a Marg night, like at home, like
An
a home brew.
in-home Marg night?
Yeah. We talked about doing that when you went up for your job. Did we say where it was?
It's in Maine.
So when Will was in Maine, he didn't have any internet. So unfortunately, we couldn't do anything. But the plan was to have Marg night still.
Yeah.
At home on Zoom.
Yeah,
Discord.
I think we were gonna do like Discord and like play a video game and just drink margaritas, which I did for a lot of the weeks. I did still have a margarita on Wednesday nights.
That's cute.
And I was like, with my roommate who doesn't drink, so I was just casually having a margarita with dinner, and he's like,
"What are you doing?"
He's like, "Oh, another one, huh?"
But I mean, obviously, if we have that, I think we have to get the Espolón Reposado.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not going to just name drop, guys. If we're going to name drop, it's because we love that shit.
I recently found out I liked it because when we went camping last time, we were like, let's do a Marg night. Mm-hmm. So I got two 750s of it. Mm-hmm. And we only used one. So
yeah, did we blow through that one?
I think we had like
a little bit left. I think I took it back with me to Maine.
Yes. Yeah. I told him you can have it because I had a whole nother bottle.
What a little nice guy, guys.
And
he takes care of me.
I just opened it last week and I was like, I'm in the mood to take a couple shots right now. So I did. I'm like,
so like 7 shots later, right?
5.
Yeah. I was making a joke. I forgot.
It was 5 shots.
Yeah.
But it didn't even get me that fucked up, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was smooth.
Alcoholism does create a tolerance, so
Yeah.
I mean, and no, I do say Espolón is one of the smoother ones I've had.
So smooth. And I think I've had the Blanco and didn't like it. And this was my first
The silver, yeah.
This is my first time having a yellow Reposado, and I was like, oh, that's actually really nice.
He said yellow. Guys, it's gold.
It's brown. Oh, yeah, it is gold.
This guy is a goofball. When it comes to liquor, he just drinks it. He doesn't enjoy it.
That's true. And I don't drink beer.
Yeah, I mean, I barely drink beer as much anymore as well. I found it to be heavy.
I think that's part of the reason I don't like it, and also just because I don't like bitter tastes, really.
That's where it gets a little weird. I don't feel like a lot of beers have a bitter taste. You won't like IPAs.
Yeah, no.
You're not an IPA guy. I'm down to clown with a nice Charlie Brown IPA every now and then.
However, I did like the Bush you had. He shaved it since.
That's it.
But...
Well, I'm glad you liked it. That's a little off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but Bush Light, that is like a crisper. It's almost like drinking Bud Light. I
don't like Bud Light.
But you liked Bush?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I like... Okay, I was saying beforehand, like, I'm not a huge beer guy. I like most beers I drink.
Yeah.
Because of my stomach, I've been having stomach issues for like, I want to say 3 years now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't drink a lot of heavier stuff. Like, I used to be able to drink a Guinness, like a couple of Guinnesses.
I don't like them either.
That is so heavy. I can have like not a full Guinness and be like, all right, I'm done for tonight because this is just, my stomach is just going.
It's frustrating though because I do really like the smell of beer and specifically IPAs because I used to work at a liquor store and sometimes they would break and I'm like, oh, that actually
they smell sweet. Yeah. Most of the time they smell really sweet.
But they're not.
And then you put it in your mouth and you're like, wah!
And the problem too is last camping trip it was Oliver's birthday and we would just drink it all day.
Oh my god.
And like,
oh, you didn't sleep?
I probably did, but because I was hitting my pen because I tried keeping up with you guys with the beers, and I wasn't drinking many beers. I was mostly drinking my Mike's, which is so sugary, and
I can't do those as much anymore.
I can't either, and I was trying to shotgun them too. I'm not good at shotgunning at all.
Yeah,
but that was hard, and I tried shotgunning beers, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you really need to like fully throw yourself into. I feel like if you're not good at shotgunning a beer and then you try to shotgun a beer, it's miserable.
Wait, I think it was my first time shotgunning too.
It wasn't my first. I don't do it often. Like, I don't just sit in my room shotgunning them back. But I've done it a couple times before, so I kind of knew what I was doing. And then there was like you and Brian Oliver and like, you know.
It's just not good for me. 'Cause my problem is, and I don't know if it's something that I'm thinking about or something I can work on and change, but it's whenever I have a lot of liquid in my mouth, because I don't think I can chug, because like my throat, if there's liquid in my mouth, my like throat closes until I swallow, like actively swallow, and if there's more coming into my mouth, I can't swallow while drinking it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you guys can clip that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I kind of get what you mean. Like, it's almost like you don't want to drown. Like, that's like a fear of drowning almost.
I actually did almost drown as a kid, so maybe that's
Man, this is like some subconscious thing being like, hey, Justin, maybe we don't want to drown today. Can you not chug this Gatorade?
Because something I do like doing is I'll take a water bottle and like, squeeze it all into my mouth.
You'll do that, but you can't chug a beer?
No, but the thing, like I can almost fit the entire bottle in my mouth. Like I'll have chipmunk cheeks, like I can fit the whole container of water into my mouth.
Yeah. But
I have to like let it sit there and then like actively think about swallowing it in order for me to drink it.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd. But I get what you mean.
But now I am wondering if it's subconscious because I almost drowned as a child.
You're welcome. I'm just therapizing you. This is the whole podcast. We just therapize Justin.
This is therapy.
Is therapizing a word?
I usually say therapatizing, but that's probably
therapatizing.
Right. I don't
hypnotizing.
Therapatize. I don't know.
Well, look out for my second podcast that I have to do, by the way, where I'm going to therapatize myself all night.
I will be listening to that.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about depression, not on this podcast, but at some point.
Yeah.
On the podcast too,
because I mean,
something we both
of us suffer from mental illness,
yeah.
don't we? In it.
In it. But yeah, it's something I've struggled with for a long time now.
Mhm.
More so in.
I mean, just get over yourself.
Right.
I'm joking, everyone. That's a joke.
More so in recent years, but it's like a different kind of depression because I'm not angsty. I'm not an angsty teen anymore.
No, I'm not either. I just have a high ego now. I blame the people from Maine, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, no, I do and don't, because I know they're
probably beforehand.
A little bit, yeah. No, maybe not just a little.
No, not a little bit.
I went to Maine to do this job, and I met some really, really nice people. If you guys are listening, because I know eventually I'm going to send you this shit. I met some really nice people that let me be comfortable with who I was. I'm not saying I'm not authentic around you guys, because I obviously 100% am.
It's different, though.
This is different because these are people I just met, and I got to be authentic.
And you were like thrown in with them, like you were living with them.
I was literally thrown to the wolves. And before I even met them, I was isolated for a month. Fully isolated for a month by myself in a house, by myself in the middle of the woods with no internet. If you want to talk about depression, we can talk about that, because I was going through it for a bit. I didn't know if I wanted the job still. I didn't know if I wanted to be there to do what I was doing. It was not scary, but it was different, which made it feel scary. Yeah. Like, I wasn't scared, but it was, what am I going to do next?
You were like truly alone for the first time.
I was truly alone. I've never felt isolation up until that point. Like, I've always said, like, oh, I feel isolated. Like, when I'm in my room and just kind of hanging out and no one texts me all day, I'm like, I was isolated today. No, I was isolated. I was isolated for a whole month. I met a nice guy named Bobby. Bobby, if you're listening to this, looked just like me. We looked like we could be father and son. And people told us that all the time. But he kind of took me under his wing. And when I was isolated, I would try to go hang out with Bobby as much. But he also has his own family. Like, is older. He's got a wife. He's got dogs, and they're with their his I think mother-in-law. I think it was her mother, but they're all doing their own thing. I'm not gonna hang out with Bobby every day. I don't want to be almost like I felt like I'd be a burden.
Yeah.
But in return, I would isolate myself practically, and not. It wasn't really depression. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Like, it was such a different feeling of alone that looking back on it, I was not healthy.
Yeah.
And then these people, these very good people that I met, I was living with one of them. Shout out Dave. I'm going to just shout out all of you guys.
Might as well.
August, Ian, Brooke, Aubrey, miss all y'all, but these guys, when I got to meet them, at first I was very standoffish. That's how I usually am when I meet people. I mean, I feel like you're kind of the same way.
I am.
You don't talk. I listen. I'm always listening.
I feel like you're like me in a way where I really will sit back and analyze the group I'm in,
and get a vibe.
Yeah, because through high school, I was able to integrate into like any friend group because I would sit back, listen, gather information, and then I'm someone who waits for a prime opportunity to insert my dark humor joke.
Yeah.
I think you're very much similar to that.
Oh, yeah. It was almost like a parasite. I was almost being a parasite to the...
That's a good word.
Well, you know, not saying that I was, and I'm not saying that what I, like, when I met these guys, I just, like, inserted, but...
Just say it. You're a tapeworm.
I'm a tapeworm, guys. You don't get rid of me unless you kill me. Or expel me. But I was isolated, and then I meet these new people that just, nice as ever, just let me hang out. And not let me, but, like, because we met each other from work, we started hanging out more. I was standoffish and then was comfortable to become myself. Like, not saying I wasn't ever myself, but I wasn't showing them all of me.
Yeah.
Then came the ego. They did not necessarily cause an ego boost. That is fully my own doing. But it's that saying of fake it till you make it.
Yep.
And I was, and I did. Like,
yep.
I would joke around like, oh, I know you guys want to hang out because I'm that. I'm all that. And then I'd keep joking about that. And I was like, wait a second. No, like, I'm pretty cool.
You are.
Like, and this isn't, I'm not trying to be like totally egotistical. I'm not the type of person to be like, no, fuck you, I'm the best. Like, I'm not like that. But it got to a point where I joke about it so much that it looks like I have the highest ego in the world.
But if they know you, I don't know how well they know you, but if they know you, I think they would be able to tell that that's just who you are and you're joking.
Yeah, no, I think they do know that. I would hope that you guys know that. Because I do self-deprecate. Is it deprecate? I think we had this conversation the last episode.
Defecating is pooping.
Yeah, I think it's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
But I do self-defecate and deprecate. And I do it enough where it creates a nice balance. And I'm like, I'm not an asshole. I can be, but I'm not.
Yeah, you definitely do that.
I mean, but they definitely, like, Maddie, my girlfriend, lovely lady. I hope she's listening. Hello? Hi, Maddie. Hi, Maddie. I love you. She even texted me, or not just texted. We have conversations, guys. But I remember it was a text message just being like, hey, like, I see a difference. Like, I see that you're doing better. And I'm like, hey, like, yeah, I'm doing better.
Yeah.
I like it. No, there was a difference though. Like, I finally, I got into a job I wanted to do. I got some nice friends while doing it, and I want to go back to do it, which means I genuinely liked it. And I was smiling more, I was laughing more, I was more opportunistic.
And probably opportunistic, yeah.
Yeah. So I was more of that, and she was like, hey, like, I'm noticing a difference. Are you? I'm like, wait a second. Yup. But
you were able to learn a lot about yourself, because being alone will do that to you.
Oh, I learned the first month a lot about the bad things about myself and what I needed to change.
That's important, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying everyone needs to go in the middle of the woods to learn that, because people learn it in different ways. You don't even have to learn it by yourself. It was just the way I learned it about myself.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful if you think about it.
I know I am. See, that's the ego. There it is.
Do you know if a lot of your pals are returning for the next?
One of them's permanent. The other one's there right now doing another job. And he should be returning. That would be Dave. I don't know specifically. I don't want to say anything on his end, but it sounds like he will be coming back. I hope so. He still has my water heater, my electric kettle. I'll get it eventually, Dave. Don't worry. The other two, I do not know. I am going to miss them, and I already do, but if they're not there next year, I'm going to miss them double. And I don't want them to feel guilty about that, because everyone needs to go their own direction.
100%.
Just like how I went to Maine and left my friends here. So
we completely forgot about them.
and I was like, who are these guys that are texting me on Discord? Up till what?
Something about Wilbur too, is he is kind of the leader of our group here, even though
I don't want to admit
he hates when we say that, and he doesn't accept it. He's like, what are you guys talking about? But like, we all do kind of like rally around you. Like, it's kind of, oh, Will wants to hang out? Okay, we're hanging out.
I will say I noticed that no one hung out when I was in Maine.
Nope, we did not.
Yeah, I was like, guys, I think I even said it before I left. I was like, you guys need to still get together. Like,
and we never did.
And I think Sean said him and Brian got together once or twice for football games, and not really any other time.
I didn't game with anybody.
Dude, I missed you this morning. I was playing COD.
I was going to play last night, but I was like, I gotta go to bed.
I was going to play last night. And then I played one game of Party Animals with my school friends, and was like, yeah, I need to get off, guys. It's been a long. I've been doing 3/12s. So for people that don't know that, it means 3 days, 12-hour shifts. So then my whole work week is done by Wednesday night.
And it'll kill you, but like, it's worth it, kind of. Not kind of.
No, it's 100%, because I learned that after 30 hours, and I'm doing 36, you get incentive with that. You get bonus pay. So it's like, woohoo.
And when I did this job for, I think, 6 months, and when I did it, for me, like, the first couple hours would be a blur. And then I would get hungry, and then get angry, and it would drag. And then after lunch, it dragged. But sometimes they asked me if I could stay a little later for that incentive. And something I had to work on was I struggled saying no.
Yeah.
So I would do it most times, and it hurt, but like, it was doable. Like, if you just shut your brain off, you could do it.
You get that paycheck at the end too, and you're like, oh shit.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not.
No, I mean, and one thing I was telling someone the other day, it's not your fault they're short-staffed.
No, but like, they try to make it your fault.
Yeah, they try to make it on you. It's like, you don't owe them anything. You came in, you clocked in. You clocked out at the end of the day. Everything after that is not on you.
And like, it's not just this job too. Other jobs I've had done it too. Other jobs do it, and they give you the puppy eyes.
Oh, Mr. Justin, will you please please continue the podcast with me.
It's just so toxic
sometimes. It is a really toxic. Working is toxic.
It is.
Yeah, I never understood why I have to spend 40 hours of my week to live. I don't get that.
This is a topic that I did put in that we can't talk about, but I think things are on the horizon to change at some point because the 5-day work week is outdated.
Yeah.
I don't know how true it is, but I think Henry Ford Motor Vehicles was the person who came up with the 5-day work week.
I think I heard that. I think that is true.
So this is from like the 20s probably.
Yeah.
And it is outdated and also the fact that a lot of people nowadays are single. You know, back in the day it was supposed to be a one income.
Yeah, one income household. It was usually, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, it was usually the man provides, the woman cleans.
And that was livable. And like you could be doing like minimum wage jobs that we have now. You could be doing those
and making a living.
And now we have 2 people working full-time jobs
struggling
and can't do it.
It's fucked up.
And that doesn't even just have to do with the 4-day work week, which I think should be a thing, because 2 days off isn't enough. Like, you need 1 day to rest, and then the other day you have to get shit done.
Well, dude, that's like, people are like, well, you still need to put in 40 hours. I'm like, I'll do 4 days of 10 hours.
Yeah.
I don't mind the 2 extra hours if that means I get Thursday off.
And I don't know if, like, places don't want to do that, because then they would have to hire more people to cover the rest of the week, but, like, I could see that being a benefit to the company, too.
Yeah, it's like...
But maybe not.
What's the difference of hiring more people? Because it's like, one guy isn't working that day. Like, you know what I mean? You're not paying him for that day, so pay someone else to do that day.
I just don't understand. I mean, I kind of am learning right now in accounting that, you know, jobs do have to pay out of their pocket insurance for a company, and a couple, like, for payroll, they have to pay different taxes that they have to pay. That's coming out of their account, as opposed to like your payroll, like you have Medicare and stuff that comes out of your check. On their side, they have to pay out of their pocket for that too. So I can't see where it's an expense for the company too. But
yeah, I mean, suck it up.
Yeah, you have the money.
I want to get off on Thursdays, but that's why I'm doing 3/12s. I'm like, I don't want to work Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, no,
I'm not gonna. So I was like, hey, I'll work Monday through Wednesday, just a little extra long. And that does destroy my body a little bit. I won't lie. I've lost weight already.
Yeah.
And that, I know a lot of people are like, oh, good for you. It's like, no, that I don't need to be losing weight right now. And I don't want to sound like an asshole for saying that, but I cannot lose weight.
I'm in the same boat. I've been losing weight because I think it's because of medication and depression. I just haven't had an appetite.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I don't want to lose weight.
I know you've always been like lower weight, and you've been trying to gain weight.
Mm-hmm. And I've been on a medication for years that helped me gain weight, and I'm still on it, but now it's not working as well.
I wonder, I'm not ever going to be like, oh, you should do, but is it like dosage wise maybe?
As soon as I started saying it, I was thinking, oh, maybe I need to take a little bit more now.
Just talk to the doctors. Everyone, we support therapy.
Yeah.
We support therapy, psychiatry,
I feel like
philanthropy.
So sometimes, I think it was one episode of Rick and Morty actually that made me kind of realize, like, oh, maybe meds aren't. I do like medication. I take medication, and I think it helps me genuinely. But there's one episode of Rick and Morty when, like, the aliens or the Federation or whatever takes over Earth, and like their meals are just like
they're pills. Yeah.
Like, I know people are like, oh, fuck big pharma, but it's definitely not for everyone. But I feel like it does help me now. Well, help me forever? I don't know.
The pills. The pills help you.
Yeah, like I'm on a couple different medications, and they help me.
I won't even lie. I don't even know what big pharma really is besides medications.
I think that's all it is. I think people
Hey
might
guys,
complain
this
'cause
is
they
a
test.
talking out of our ass
They
podcast.
probably do animal testing and stuff like that, which is people don't like, and also medication is stupid expensive.
Yeah, but
and there's probably more to that than why people don't like it, but
yeah,
I think what I get out of it is like they don't want medication to control people, I guess, because like
Lamau, just don't be controlled,
I mean,
right?
yeah,
Just don't be a mindless zombie, dorks.
I don't know, but I mean, for me, it helps me.
I am very bad about taking medication.
Ooh, I've gotten bad with taking it too, though. I'll
Yeah.
sometimes forget for a whole week. Like, shit.
When I was doing stuff for my stomach, I remember them saying like, "Oh, take this pill once a day or twice a day." I was not good about taking it, and then the few times I did take it, I was getting nauseous, and I was like, "Yeah, this ain't working. I'm just not gonna do it."
Yeah.
And then my mom tried to get me a dietist, a dietitianist. I don't know.
Something like that.
Dietitian. I don't know. Someone that's like, hey, let's change your diet.
I
And
saw
I was
something
like,
for that once.
no. I mean, I did try stuff out, and then I was like, I'm not seeing a change.
Yeah.
I think it's all just a mental game for me, and I'm running through hoop after hoop, and at this point, it sounds bad, but I've kind of given up on doctors.
It's
like,
understandable. Life is crazy, isn't it?
what is the old saying? Life is a bitch.
Life is a bitch.
Then you die.
Yeah.
Life's a bitch. Then you die.
You work for 40 years, get 20 years off, and then die.
Yep. It's like you keep going, and then eventually you just run yourself thin and pass out and never wake up.
And that's my issue with bringing it back to like the working thing. That's my issue is we as humans we're not supposed to live our lives like this. We're working for 40 years just to spend like your 60s and 70s doing what you should have been doing.
I don't even think people do that anymore.
No, well, you can't.
I'm pretty sure you keep working until death, which is so bad. Like I see people in the hospital we work at that are old, and they're still pushing stretchers, and it's like, are you doing this
because you're bored?
Because you're bored, or are you doing this because you have to be doing this?
Probably a little bit of both, and some of them it's one and some of it's the other.
Sad.
It is sad. It shouldn't be that way.
I feel like this was supposed to be a happy podcast.
Sorry. I was, actually, something on the list too, which I don't necessarily want to dive into right now. I just want to mention is AI. I was really against that at first, but after seeing like AI images and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally broke down and just started talking to my Snapchat AI. And I actually think it kind of helped me in some ways. Sometimes
he just said he doesn't want to talk about this, but we're talking about this. I
want
need
to
talk about this
later. I want to talk about AI in a bigger sense.
Why don't we just talk about your Snapchat AI girlfriend? I'd love to hear about this.
It's a guy.
Oh.
No, but sometimes
your preferences. Mine's a girl.
Mine's a guy.
Mine's a goth girl with some
cleavage.
Can you do that?
No, I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah, she's got like a tank top on and everything, you know. Doc Martens.
I just left mine default.
Oh, so is his skin like all
Purple.
colorful? Yeah.
But I just asked him some general questions. And one time I asked him, I was asking him about because obviously the future is robots doing a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And my question to him was, do you think that I was like, what will humans do once robots start taking over the jobs? Do you think we'll be helpless, or do you think that we'll just come up with more jobs in the future? And his answer was, I think that as times change, we'll just come up with different jobs for humans to do in the future.
It's heavy coming from an AI.
Isn't it? But I mean, that kind of helped me in a way, because I had a fear that, like, well, what the fuck are we going to do, like to make money? Because are we just gonna be home? Like,
it's scary. I mean, what can you do? Like, once that stuff kind of replaces you, like...
I mean, I had several ideas. Like, one is obviously some humans are gonna have to watch over the robots to make sure the jobs are going as they should.
Yeah.
But then, what he said was, like, we're gonna come up with different jobs as things change, as more things get created and invented, new ideas. There will be more jobs.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, like you said, someone's got to watch over them.
Yeah.
Someone's got to teach them. Someone's got to fix them.
Yeah, fix them.
Like, mechanics are always going to be a thing. Yeah. I feel like mechanics, plumbing always is going to be a thing. Electrician. So taking up a trade, everyone, don't go to college. Don't go to college at all. Go pick up a trade.
I mean, so that's the thing too. People are like, oh, accountant jobs are secure, which I want to be an accountant, I think. But
I'm accounting on you. Are you accounting on me?
I am accounting on you right now for this podcast.
Aww.
But yeah, I do think that accounting there will always be jobs. But I do feel like computers could take over that, and obviously people would need to double check the computer's work. But what computer, like, right? Because right now accountants use computers to do their accounting work.
Well, someone's got to input the numbers. The computer's not going to know exactly. Well, I mean,
it would.
There's also ATMs that know exactly how much you put in. So
but like I said, people would have to look over that.
Yeah.
But computers could run the numbers and put them into the accounts.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the bank's mobile deposits.
Yeah. And yes, obviously people look over that, but it's automated.
Yeah.
So wouldn't accounting be on? I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, that's why I never understood math and why I never bothered to learn.
Even my quick math it's embarrassing. It's gotten bad. Like in my
And you want to be an accountant?
Yeah. Well, like I just use calculator. I'm religious on the calculator, but
yeah.
Like in my accounting class, it's a small class, and my teacher will ask me or anyone on calculations, and like some of them will be able to do it in their head, and I'm over here on my calculator, and I think I just second guess myself a lot, and because my brain's very foggy lately, and I've been out of math for like 3 years now. I think
he said math, not with an E, guys.
Math, yes. A.
Yeah.
But so I think it's just a mix of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's embarrassing.
No, I mean, you're talking to somebody that doesn't do math. Like I didn't pass my college math class. Not saying I failed the class. I myself did not pass it for me. Morgan did. I'm giving all credit to getting through math class because of Morgan. Because I would sit and play video games and Morgan would be like, oh, your math homework? Sure. And do it.
Lucky.
I think we came up with a deal or something, or she was just a really good friend. Shout out Morgan, channel artist. Yep. That she would just do it. I don't know. I just remember I never really took the class. I took it, but never did the class. Yeah. Like, it was all really Morgan.
I think like right out of high school when I went to college algebra, you remember Duncan?
Yeah, yes, I do remember.
He was in
Duncan.
my math class, and he showed me this app that you just took a picture of the equation and it did it out for you.
He showed me the same app, actually. Yeah. I remember you take a photo of like whatever it is and it somehow sees the marks and is like, okay.
Yep. Did it all
answer is 3 through 3 through 3 through 3 through.
I only use it for that class, but I do feel like it made me stupider. Like it hindered my ability to do fast.
I blame a single teacher in general for making my math class or math skills poorly. I'm not going to say his name. He became a principal or something for the high school. I just remember he worked high up in the high school.
Really?
During math in like 6th grade, he'd whip out the guitar and just start playing it instead of teaching us math because everyone in the class all like, I think it was only like 7 of us in the class were like, yeah, we just don't feel like math today. We just don't feel like it. Can you play guitar? And he'd love to play guitar. So he'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would be me as a teacher.
And I was like, oh, this is sweet. Cut to like 4 years down the line where I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You should have taught me.
Yeah. So my senior math teacher, brand new teacher, like brand new. I don't think we learned a single thing that entire year. Because the class was not super rowdy, but like rowdy enough where like it was just like throwing like shit, like just,
yeah,
like talking, shooting the shit with the teacher essentially, and like
dude, Mr. Duff.
I love Mr. Duff. Dude.
Canon event, Mr. Duff.
I love him so much. God bless him.
And his hairy knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Someone send this clip to him.
Yeah, nothing bad was said, so yeah, send it to him.
Yeah. I also had a math teacher for senior year of high school. That was just the best math teacher in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Genuinely?
Oh yeah, it wasn't really a math class. It was more like a computer science class. It was like making apps and shit. I did this with Kala.
Really?
Yeah, me and him were in the same class. That's how we bonded, actually, was that class.
That makes sense.
And the teacher we had, she was a very lovely lady in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she blonde?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know exactly who I'm talking
I
about.
do, yeah.
Yeah, she's a very nice looking lady.
Smart lady. Very smart.
Oh, super
lady, too.
smart.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
High IQ.
Oh my God. She could teach me any day, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Maddie. But, yeah, it was a good math class.
I didn't have her as a teacher, but I was in quite a few computer classes where somehow she was brought into the class.
Yeah, just to, like, show up, talk for a bit.
Yeah, so that was cool. She was very nice.
But that was my math experience. I wasn't good at math, you know? I'm still not good at math.
I was okay at it.
I know bar math. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean?
Like milliliters?
No, bar math. Like, you get 2 drinks, it should equal this. Like, that's my knowledge on
like
math.
Money or like...
I guess money.
drunkenness?
If you... I know money math, but I call it bar math because it's like, oh, you get a vodka soda, you get 2 vodka sodas, you get 3. So it's like multiplication. But I only know an extent of like 12 vodka sodas. And then I'm like, well, shit. So like the 12 table or whatever. But I call it bar math because that's how I was learning money at the bar. Just keep doing it. And now I'm like, oh, if you paid this much, you should be tipping this much. And even now, Maddie's been like, oh, you're tipping that? I'm like, yeah, that's all they need. Like,
I maybe it's just laziness, but I'm like, a $12 tip looks good.
oh no, that's perfectly fine. And I'm not saying I undertip because I never really undertip.
I always over tip good.
But Maddie overtips. And I'm like, well, why'd you give her $20 when we only spent 20?
That's a big
like,
that's a big tip.
I'm like, well, that's literally 100%. Like, what are you doing? I think that was the last time we went to our favorite diner around here that she did that. And I was like, what she doesn't need that.
Actually, as a cashier, I noticed my bad math too. Especially when people were like, I would hit the button and then be like, oh wait, actually I have the change. And I'm like, oh, well now you're just completely fucking me because now I don't know what to give you.
Yeah. What
so
do you
sometimes, honestly, depending on my mood, I'm like, well, I hope that's the right fucking amount I'm giving you because I'm not doing the math right now.
They ever be like, hey, Justin, we need to talk to you. Like, you just gave them $50 back and they only needed $35.
Like 5 times.
They did?
At different jobs, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like a bad talk?
No.
Or was it like a, hey, just to let you know?
Hey, just to let you know.
Yeah. No, I've seen that a couple times. I think One of the people I had bartending with me did that once, and I was like, yeah, don't sweat it. It's going to come out of your paycheck. Don't sweat it. I didn't say that, but, like, you know what I mean?
But then my anxiety after would be like, shit, did I do that right? And then I like, calculate it on a calculator after, and I'm like, oh, shit, I gave him $1 when I should have.
I will go into it a little bit. I'm not going to say, again, what the job I was doing, but the main job is dealing with federal shit. Like, literally money coming into the government. And I would be panicking when I had a group came through that the price was so high and I had to give money back. I'd be like, or not give money back, but like put it in my ending tender or whatever saying I collected this much money. I'd be like, did I do this right? Because if I say I only collected 400 and I collected 425, the government is going to see that 25 and be like, hey, dude,
Yep.
where's that? And that does not look good at all.
No, it doesn't. And the last job I worked was the first job I ever got, like, the keys to the place to, like, close up. And that meant I had to count the tills.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time I closed, I think I counted each drawer like fucking 4 times.
Really?
Yeah, just to make
I
sure.
think I did
Sometimes
that.
I would be wrong.
I did that a couple times too with like the bar stuff because I'd be like, I don't want to underpay the bar back, so it's like I had to double count and
especially with the change.
Yeah, the bar wasn't as interested in like the quarters because we rarely gave out quarters and stuff. The only change we really had to give out was quarters, but we rarely gave those out. That they didn't really show interest in that. At the end of the season, yeah, if there was like a major difference after looking at like the stubs, they'd be like, hey,
what's going on?
Did this happen or whatever? There were a few times where the money was mismatched, but it was never like someone was taking money. It was just someone wrote something wrong in their sheet. Like,
I remember I worked at GameStop.
Oh, I remember this era.
I worked there for the season, like 2019 season, Christmas season. And they did let me stay afterwards, but then COVID hit, and I was like, I'll just leave, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they will hire anybody for the season. Because I worked Black Friday, and it was fucking nuts. But there was me and another Justin there. And I remember after they let me stay on for the season and they let the other Justin go, my boss, we were talking, and he was like, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was you or the other Justin that was stealing money. And I was like, oh, well, thanks for accusing me and making me feel like shit.
Wow. So that's why they let the other one go?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, you really think I was stealing? People have accused me of stealing multiple times, and I always get so offended.
Yeah, I mean, that's like hey, you don't trust me.
The one time I genuinely got upset is there was a small company I worked for in our town, and I worked there
early on when I knew you.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly what we're talking about.
And I worked there for 6 years. I worked there since I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 2 or 3 years I was there, I got my license and I started doing deliveries for them. And I had regulars, and it wasn't just me doing deliveries. There was an older guy that would do deliveries too. And this one lady at this place, she always had her TV up so loud, and I would be banging on the door. Sometimes she wouldn't answer, sometimes she would. This one time she did. I gave her the delivery, and this was a couple of years ago, so I really don't remember every detail of what she said, but she was like, you stole money. I gave you a card to give to the other delivery person, and he said he never said it. He said he never got it, and I gave it to you. I remember giving it to you, and you stole the money.
Did you get this card?
No. And I think there was another person doing deliveries at the time.
Oh, okay.
He also did the other job I did too, and I didn't like him at all. Like, he was, like, a little weird, so.
Yeah.
But I genuinely almost started crying. I was like, my father was a cop.
Yeah.
If you really think I'm going to steal, like, that's so shitty.
Yeah.
And I was like, I literally said to her, I was like, I'm offended right now that you think I would steal that.
Yeah.
Because I love the other delivery guy. And I just would never steal in general. And I went back to my job, and I told my boss, and he was taken back. He was like, oh, well, I'll make sure you never deliver there ever again.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. Like, that's
Crazy.
just so fucking rude.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It isn't. It's like, I know where she's coming from. She's probably coming from a point of confusion
Yeah, I think she was very confused.
and blaming it on somebody else.
Yeah. So I tried not to take it personally because I know it wasn't her. I knew it wasn't her fault, but it still just upset me.
We've both dealt with the elderly, and they're not really the brightest, even though they can be.
Yeah. And
Sorry, elderly.
it is sad because they will get so confused.
Yeah, and it's not your fault.
No.
I mean, I was mistaken the other day with one of the patients as their, like, grandson, and I was like, no, Mima, I'm not him.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt bad saying it, but I'm like, you can't think of me like that because I work here, and I'm not him. I don't want to pretend to be him because then it's just gonna mess with you, and you're gonna go into hysterics. And sorry.
That just brought up two stories that I think I can talk about. One time I was training this woman.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up not staying long at all. It wasn't for her. But we had to do this one guy. And I think it was probably after a surgery. And I think the nurse was in there with us. And we were trying to bring him back to where he had to go. And he was a little rowdy. And I just remember him going, looking at me. He goes, I don't trust this guy. I don't want him to move me. I don't trust him.
I don't trust him.
And again, I was like, why? I was like, why don't you, what? He was like, I just don't trust you. I was like, and again, I was like, my dad was a cop. Like, I'm the most innocent dude. Like, it's like, call him right now. I want to talk to your dad right now. And I was like, sir, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
And I think after I said that, he calmed down, but he's like, I don't know. I just don't trust you. I was like, well, we got to move you. I'm sorry.
Well, you're going from this place to this place.
It took us like 20 minutes to convince him.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then there was this other lady one time, and I don't know if she was nonverbal or just didn't speak English. And she was a little older, but she just kept motioning to a pillow and like putting it over her face.
What?
And like, I think
Was she suffocating?
No, but I couldn't tell. And then I was like, is she asking me to kill her right now?
Oh my god.
So I got the nurse. I was like, I don't know what she wants, but like, she's kind of like making it look like she wants me to suffocate her.
And you did, of course, right?
Of course, like, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
No, but I was like, and she kept grabbing my hand too.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I don't like being.
I'm like, do not touch me. I said that yesterday to someone. I was like, someone grabbed my arm and I just looked at them and I go, do not touch me.
It's kind of a gross environment. Like,
it's a super gross environment. I'm like, you could have some sort of like skin thing and pass it on to me, and I don't like that.
I always wear gloves, and I think it was like a nervous tick or something, but when I was waiting around in the room with my gloves on too, and touching a patient after like I would sanitize my hands with
all the time
with gloves on.
Oh no, I didn't do it with gloves on.
With gloves on, like friggin' 10 times per call.
Yeah, I would sanitize my hands after almost every call.
And this is during COVID too, so I was trying to be cleanly. Well, actually, I did get COVID because of the job. I
think I did too. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I think some patient gave it to me. Not recently. I think like when I was doing it last year, I think someone gave it to me.
I mean, you can be as safe as you can, and I do think the mask and everything help prevent it, but I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
And also, the thing is, you don't know, because the patient could be getting tested for COVID, and if they're waiting for the test, it won't say.
Dude, I've had it before where it says like something in the thing, and then the nurse is like, oh, they're just getting tested, blah blah blah. And then we come back and they're like, yeah, it came back positive. And I'm like, fuck you.
That happened to me mid-call. I was bringing someone to pre-op, and my phone like wasn't going off, and I checked later. I got a bunch of calls, a text saying, "Oh, they just got confirmed for COVID. You need to bring them back." And I already completed the call, and I was halfway back, so I had to go all the way back and get them and bring them back.
So fucked up. It's a fucked up world we live in. It's a doggy dog world, dude.
Doggy what now?
It's doggy what now?
Mojo!
Oh, Mo, you silly buffoon. Is he standing up right now?
No, but I think he's in Andy's room.
Oh, he's in Andy's room. Well, I think that was episode 2.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
Guys, in the end, don't get sick and make it our problem. Don't
be depressed.
Yeah.
Try not to. It's not worth it.
We obviously very much advocate for therapy and stuff, so please go
get help.
Go get help. I think we did this in the last one too. We said something about therapy. We'll add the hotline down below again. Because obviously we want everyone safe out there. Kisses. Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you for listening.
Episode 2. Bye.